from the driver's seat, a TR6 is classic British sports car. You've got big round gauges, you've got a wooden dashboard, you've got a classic British car, slotted steering wheel. It's kind of the last of the true British roadsters. You know, the Austin Healey 3000 had gone by the wayside. You had MGBs and GTs, but the last classic wood dash British sports car is probably the Triumph TR6. If you're trying to buy a Triumph TR6, the mechanicals are pretty straightforward. They're very durable. The things to look for are badly repaired rust or rust that hasn't been repaired. The differential mounts tend to break loose because the engine is pretty torquey. You need to look at that and look for abuse and bad wiring and that sort of stuff. But you know, the bottom of the market for these cars is now in the, let's say, $8,000 to $12,000 range for a driver that's got needs. A decent driver is up closer to 20, 25, and then the best in the world is in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. So there's some real pluses and minuses with these cars from a driving standpoint. Right off the bat, the brakes are phenomenal. Yes, it's a disc drum combo, but they're very confidence inspiring. The Girling front disc brakes are great. The handling is pretty darn good unless you get to the limit. The steering feels great on a TR6. There's a rack and pinion steering. The power delivery is pretty phenomenal for this type of a car. It's not a Cobra, but you know, it's a smooth 6. It feels torquey. It feels good. That's certainly pleasurable. The original 4-speed transmission is slick shifting, does well. They're easy cars to drive at highway speeds, especially if they're equipped with an overdrive. The downsides are they are a little bit, you know, a little rattly, especially on a rough road. They're quite narrow. I mean, I think a Spitfire, which is the intro car they made, is even wider than a TR6, or certainly looks it. But they are a narrow cockpit on an old style ladder frame. Another great thing about a TR6 is it's surprisingly watertight. You put that top up, it's easy to put up. It's like a Miata. It's easy to put up. Not quite as easy as a Miata, but pretty easy to put up, and quite comfortable and watertight, not super noisy. So yeah, they're pretty modern cars for a very old car. The parts availability, except for a few things, the bumpers of all things are pretty hard to find. But other than that, and a few interior pieces, mostly the Triumph TR6s is everything is out there. Moss Motors and others have pretty much every part for that car. Sheet metal, interior, carpet, and seat covers, and it's not that expensive, and it's not at all hard to get. There were a lot of minor changes in the model run, which went from 1969 to 1976, but only a couple of major changes. The biggest change is probably the introduction of the bigger bumper guards that were mandated by the mid-70s. They certainly alter, let's say, or destroy, depending on how you look, the looks of these cars. It's super easy to backdate the bumpers to the simpler style that's on this car. The seats changed. They added different headrests, and a lot of the changes were to meet rules. So there was some detuning by the mid-70s. So, you know, but overall, they didn't really change that much. And the changes that were made, if you don't like them, you can take most of them back. The engine is a 2.5 liter inline 6. It's not the most modern engine by any means. It's overhead valve, but not overhead cam. It made a little over 100 horsepower in stock form. It can easily be modified like this one to give 120, 130 horsepower. So behind that is a 4-speed. It's synchro on all 4 gears. It's nice shifting. This one's been replaced with a Toyota Supra 5-speed, which is even better, especially if you want to get up to highway speeds. The TR6 is relatively fast. It's relatively comfortable, although the body's a bit narrow. That's probably the biggest weakness. Another weakness might be the little creaks and rattles because it's not a unibody car. And of course, that rear suspension is not the finest in the world. Overall, Triumph TR6 is a great starter car. It's a great British roadster. It's classic. It looks good. It handles pretty decent. It drives pretty nice, and it's easy to keep on the road. If you like these kind of cars, please like and subscribe to our channel and check out our website, classicmotorsports.com. We write about these cars all the time.
If you like this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And to see more stories like this, visit us online at classicmotorsports.com.